Princess Diana's life was a dazzling drama, but hidden behind the spotlight were dark chapters few knew about. From a shy young girl to a global icon, Diana captivated the world with her beauty, compassion, and rare authenticity within the royal family. Yet, behind her radiant smiles, glamorous gowns, and waves to the public, was a woman battling loneliness, betrayal, and suffocating air pressure every blossom. She was not just a fairy tale princess, she was a silent warrior, grappling with a loveless marriage, mental struggles, and the relentless scrutiny of the press. Diana's tragic death in a speeding car in Paris not only shook the world, but also opened a window into the secrets she had kept hidden her entire life. Imagine one of the most beloved women on the planet, forced to leave behind secret recordings and unpublished letters just to tell the truth of her own life. In this journey, we will uncover the 10 most shocking secrets about Princess Diana, truths once buried, only revealed after her passing. Stay glued to your screen, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any captivating stories. And don't forget to leave a comment letting us know where you're watching from. Your voice is what makes this community stronger. Number 1, she kept secret tapes, diaries, and letters. Princess Diana endured many trials in her life. And during those difficult times, she quietly recorded and wrote personal diaries. These private tapes helped her cope with numerous challenges and became more frequent as her relationship with King Charles III deteriorated. From 1992 to 1997, she recorded many of her thoughts and feelings on Sony cassette tapes. These were not random messages. She was narrating her story, hoping the truth would one day be known. Some of the earliest recordings were used by Andrew Morton to create a famous biography titled Diana, Her True Story in Her Own Words. Initially, no one knew Diana had worked so closely with Morton. But after her passing, it became clear that the book was far more accurate than people believed. As Diana played a significant role in its creation, much of the deeply personal information shared in the book came directly from the tapes she recorded herself. Among the most touching and unforgettable recordings were those she made for the women who would one day marry her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Diana had a strong premonition that she wouldn't live long enough to see her boys grow up or meet their future wives. She feared she might not be there to guide them as a mother, especially in matters of marriage and family. So, she devised a plan that was both heartbreaking and beautiful. She recorded warm, heartfelt tapes meant for the ears of Catherine Middleton and Meghan Markle. In those tapes, she shared gentle advice, loving hopes, and her deepest wishes for the lives her sons would build. She spoke about the kind of women she hoped they would marry and the happiness she wished for them. She wanted to be a guiding voice, even if she couldn't be there in person. One of her close friends later explained that Diana wanted these tapes to be a gift, something to help her daughters-in-law feel supported and connected to her. She dreamed of being part of their family journeys, even from afar. She once joked that she liked the idea of being a nagging mom even when she was cold and stiff in her grave. It made her laugh. And in her usual charming way, she found the idea sweet and funny. Tragically, her premonition came true. She didn't live to see her sons grow into men or fall in love and marry. But through those secret recordings, Diana found a way to stay close, offering love, support, and a mother's voice even after she was gone. Beyond the tapes for her future daughters-in-law, she also wrote personal letters that served as a guide for her sons. In these letters, Princess Diana shared her deepest fears and worries, especially about William and Harry. She knew that as they grew older, the world's eyes would increasingly focus on them, and she dreaded the weight of that pressure on their young shoulders. Diana feared that the same challenges and struggles she faced would overwhelm them too. Every word in her letters reflected her boundless love for her sons and her fear for their future. Even when she couldn't always be there, she wanted to protect them in any way she could. Her endless love for William and Harry shone through every line. What makes these letters so meaningful is the raw emotion behind them. Diana wasn't writing as a royal. She was writing as a mother deeply concerned for her children's well-being. Unlike the traditional royal approach to parenting, which often kept children distant and sheltered, Diana was determined to do things differently. She wanted her boys to feel loved, heard, and safe, even in a world that could be harsh and unforgiving. Through her words, it's clear she poured her heart into raising her children, ensuring they knew how much they were cherished. These letters offer a glimpse into who Diana truly was, not just the princess the world saw, but a woman with immense love and strength. She wasn't merely a figurehead, she was a mother who cared deeply, felt intensely, and lived with a passion that reached beyond palace walls. Her letters reveal a woman who fought to protect her family with everything she had, even under the world's scrutiny. Diana's approach to raising her sons sharply contrasted with royal traditions that kept family life private. While the royal family maintained distance from the public, Diana wanted her sons to experience life as it truly was. She didn't want them to grow up in a bubble, isolated from the world. She ensured William and Harry enjoyed simple, everyday experiences many children take for granted: eating ice cream on a warm afternoon, riding roller coasters at amusement parks, or walking through crowded streets like ordinary people. Diana knew they needed more than royal titles and ceremonial events. She believed her boys deserved to see the world in all its beauty and challenges. She wanted them to feel the freedom of being themselves, away from the restrictions of royalty. Through her actions, Diana ensured they had those precious moments. Number 2, her sister dated King Charles III before Princess Diana entered the picture. Her older sister, Sarah Spencer, had a brief romance with King Charles III. This occurred in 1907, when Charles was meeting and dating several young women. The press nicknamed them Charlie's Angels due to the many women he was seeing while searching for a suitable bride under pressure to start a royal family. The Spencer family, known for their high social status and strong reputation, caught the attention of the royal circle. Sarah stood out to Charles during his search. She was invited multiple times to royal estates like Windsor Castle and Balmoral, indicating she had made an impression. However, while Charles seemed interested, Sarah didn't reciprocate. Those close to her said she wasn't looking for a serious relationship with him and simply enjoyed the excitement of being noticed by someone so prominent in the royal family. Reports at the time noted that Sarah clearly stated she had no desire to marry Charles. Whether he was an ordinary worker or the future king, her feelings were firm, and she never envisioned herself as his queen. Their short-lived relationship took a surprising turn when Sarah invited Charles to visit her family's Althorpe estate. There, in the peaceful countryside, Charles met her younger sister, Diana. She was young, charming, and had a radiant glow that instantly caught his attention. That meeting changed everything, setting the stage for one of the most talked-about royal love stories of all time. What began as a small moment at a family estate became the start of history in the making. Number 3, the paparazzi harassed her before Princess Diana's untimely death. The paparazzi were a constant and overwhelming presence in her life. The extent of their harassment wasn't fully understood until years later, when her son, Prince William, spoke out in a 2017 HBO documentary. Diana, our mother, her life and legacy. He said, I don't believe being chased by 30 guys on motorbikes who block your path and make a woman cry in public to get photographs as appropriate. He revealed how traumatizing the paparazzi's behavior was, especially for his mother, who was constantly chased, followed, and hounded. They would provoke reactions, even blocking her car and spitting at her to elicit an emotional response. William and his brother, Harry, endured this invasion of privacy, which left lasting emotional scars. The paparazzi followed Diana everywhere, capturing every moment, no matter how personal or painful. The constant chase, lack of peace, and emotional toll of never feeling safe were heavy burdens. Tragically, this pursuit played a direct role in her death on August 31st, 1999. Diana left her Paris hotel with her boyfriend, Dodi Fayed, in a Mercedes-Benz. A frenzy of paparazzi chased them through the streets, leading to a deadly crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. The crash killed Diana, leaving the world in shock and mourning a heartbreaking moment that could have been avoided if the paparazzi had respected her privacy. Number 4, she had mental health problems. One of the most heartbreaking truths revealed after Diana's passing was her silent battle with mental health. Through private recordings released posthumously, the world glimpsed the emotional weight she carried. Diana openly shared her deep sadness and emotional pain. At one point, she was in such a dark place that she admitted to harming herself with razor blades to cope with her emptiness. She also spoke honestly about her struggle with bulimia, an eating disorder that took a toll on her physically and emotionally. Her condition wasn't just caused by royal pressures, but was exacerbated by comments from King Charles III. According to Diana, he sometimes remarked about her weight, cutting deeply into her fragile self-worth. Many believe her nightly kitchen visits weren't just about food or company, but were rare moments she felt free to eat without judgment, possibly the only time she didn't feel watched or criticized. Charles heard her not only with words but also through actions. During her pregnancy with Prince William, Diana struggled with bulimia and severe morning sickness, which forced her to cancel a visit to the Duchy of Cornwall's estate. Instead of showing compassion, Charles reportedly made her feel ashamed, feeling neglected and desperate for his attention. Diana revealed she once threw herself down a flight of stairs, hoping he would notice her pain. The Queen rushed to her side, concerned for her and the baby. But Charles simply went horseback riding as if nothing had happened. Most of her pain was hidden from the world during her lifetime. The full extent of her struggles only emerged after her death, revealing the depth of her suffering. Number 5, she ruined her wedding vows during her wedding vows. Princess Diana made an unforgettable slip, accidentally calling her future husband Philip Charles instead of Charles Philip. At the time, few noticed. But years later, after her death, the moment gained significance when the wedding video was revisited. Those close to her said the young princess was terrified during the ceremony. Overwhelmed by anxiety, the pressure of marrying into the royal family at just 20 years old was immense, compounded by her sense that Charles was emotionally distant. The slip, though minor, highlighted her nervousness and uncertainty, with the world watching. Her ability to go through with the event at such a young age was a testament to her strength. In the years that followed, Diana faced many challenges. But moments like these, when she was a young girl thrust into a whirlwind of expectations, reminded the world of her vulnerability and tender heart. Number 6, the Queen Mother employed her grandmother, long before Princess Diana became part of the royal family. Her grandmother, Ruth Fermoy, had close ties to the palace, laying the groundwork for Diana's entry into royalty. Ruth wasn't just a background figure. She worked closely with the Queen Mother, the mother of Queen Elizabeth II. She held the respected role of one of the Queen Mother's ladies-in-waiting, a position involving assistance with both personal and official matters. Because of this role, Ruth was granted the prestigious title of Woman of the Bedchamber, a traditional position for women chosen to support the Queen in daily life. Ruth Fermoy was more than a helper. She was by the Queen Mother's side during social events, public outings, and even private matters. She assisted with planning, correspondence, and was always ready to offer advice or a listening ear. Those close to the palace saw her as the Queen Mother's reliable companion, both loyal and graceful in her duties. For Princess Diana, this royal connection ran deep in her roots. It wasn't just that she married into the royal family. Her family was already a trusted part of that world. This adds a touching layer to Diana's story, showing she was raised in a family where tradition, service, and dignity were a way of life. It's easy to imagine how, as a little girl, Diana might have listened to stories about her grandmother's experiences at the palace. These stories likely shaped how she viewed the world and understood honor, grace, and kindness in the public eye. Ruth Fermoy's devotion to the royal household gave Diana a quiet legacy to follow, even before cameras and headlines knew her name. It's a beautiful reminder that strength and purpose can be passed down through generations. Still on the matter of legacy, did you know Princess Diana preserved her legacy through secret tapes? Keep reading to learn more about this. Number 7. She was related to King Charles III. Among the surprises revealed after Princess Diana's heartbreaking passing was her distant familial connection to King Charles III. Few knew that Diana and Charles were very distant relatives, sharing a link tracing back to King Henry VIII, making them 16th cousins once removed. Though the relation was distant enough to avoid impropriety, it was close enough to raise eyebrows. This detail was never publicized during their marriage, perhaps because it felt odd or would have added a strange twist to their already complex relationship. This little-known fact surfaced years later when researchers delved into their family trees. In the world of royals and noble bloodlines, such connections aren't rare. Many aristocratic families across Europe share ancient links due to generations of marrying within similar social circles. Some say it's almost expected in royal traditions, where keeping titles and land within certain bloodlines was once the norm. Learning that Diana and Charles were related, even distantly, adds a curious layer to their story. It highlights how small the world of royalty can be and how history has a way of looping back on itself. For some, it serves as a reminder that, despite the monarchy's grander modern appearance, it remains built on centuries of deeply connected family ties that may be difficult to explain today. Number 8, she snuck into the kitchen at night. Princess Diana had a beautiful habit few knew about during her lifetime. Late at night, when the grand halls of Kensington Palace were quiet, she would sneak into the palace kitchen to relax and feel normal. These late-night visits broke royal tradition and the strict rules of palace life. But for Diana, they were a small act of freedom that brought her joy. Her personal chef, Darren McGrady, later shared these special moments. He recalled how Diana would walk in at all hours, barefoot and smiling, and sit on the kitchen counter as if she had no royal title. She loved nibbling on favorite snacks while they chatted about anything and everything. Sometimes, she would brew coffee for both of them, stirring the cups herself, like an ordinary friend. These moments were simple but genuine. Diana didn't want to be treated as superior. She enjoyed being around people who made her feel safe, heard, and understood. The kitchen became her escape from the pressure and loneliness of her royal role. It wasn't about the food, it was about feeling like herself, away from cameras, formality, and heavy expectations. Darren shared this sweet secret only after Diana's passing, wanting the world to know how kind-hearted and down-to-earth she was. While most saw the glamorous princess in gowns and tiaras, he saw the real Diana, a woman who laughed at midnight in the kitchen, sipping coffee and swapping stories like a lifelong friend. These details remind us why she was so loved. She wasn't just a princess in title. She was the people's princess because she cared deeply, loved honestly, and never let the crown change the warmth in her heart. Number 9, a passionless relationship after Princess Diana's passing. The world was stunned by the intimate, emotional recordings she left behind. In these private tapes, she revealed painful truths about her marriage to King Charles III. It was clear their relationship was far from a fairy tale. She spoke about her 1981 wedding day, which many thought was the happiest of her life. To Diana, it was one of the darkest days she ever lived through. Behind the grand ceremony and smiles for the cameras, she carried a heart filled with doubt and sadness. She knew the man she was marrying didn't truly love her. Diana spoke candidly about the emptiness in their relationship, describing a lack of real intimacy perhaps occurring only every few weeks. And even then, it felt like a cold routine rather than affection. What haunted her most was the timing. She noticed Charles had a pattern of meeting Camilla Parker Bowles every 3 weeks before their marriage. When asked if Camilla was a factor in their marriage's breakdown, Diana famously said, "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." It was hard for Diana to ignore the eerie similarity, making her feel she was never truly in Charles's heart. She always knew deep down that Charles loved Camilla, who wasn't considered suitable for a future king due to her background and divorce. Queen Elizabeth II didn't approve of their union, so Charles married Diana to fulfill royal expectations, while Camilla remained in the background. This complicated triangle brought years of hidden pain for Diana. She was trapped in a marriage that looked perfect outwardly, but was breaking her spirit inwardly. The world saw a beautiful princess waving from balconies, but the cameras missed a young woman struggling to understand why love had passed her by. Only after her death did these truths emerge, revealing the quiet suffering she endured. Her courage in recording those tapes was an act of reclaiming her story. She wanted people to know the truth beyond castles and titles, to understand what it felt like to live in a world where love was sacrificed for duty. During their engagement interview, when asked if they were in love, Diana quickly said yes. But Charles's vague response didn't sound like love. His odd reply hurt Diana, and things worsened when she learned he had secretly bought a gift for Camilla. She considered ending the relationship, but with her sister's support, moved forward. Though doubt and fear had already crept in, on the outside, their wedding seemed perfect. But cracks appeared early. Diana was pursued by photographers and weighed down by royal expectations. Charles didn't hide his feelings for Camilla. And over time, the pressure became too much for Diana. She felt inadequate and expressed these feelings. But Charles couldn't offer the support she needed. They drifted further apart. And rumors of Charles still seeing Camilla became undeniable. Number 10. She worried about Prince William and Harry. Princess Diana deeply worried about her sons, Prince William and Harry, wanting them to have as normal a life as possible, away from the royal spotlight. She took them to theme parks and treated them to fast food at McDonald's to give them a taste of a regular childhood. She also sent them to public school, wanting them to experience life like other children, not just as royal heirs. After her divorce from Prince Charles, Diana's worries grew. She became concerned about her son's relationship with their father and the royal family. She believed the crown wouldn't protect her boys and feared they would face the same mistreatment she had endured. These concerns were revealed only after her death through her tapes and diaries. Sadly, Some of Diana's fears came true. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle faced harsh treatment and relentless bullying from both the royal family and the British press. The constant scrutiny and media attacks became unbearable, leading them to step back from their roles as senior royals. In many ways, it felt like history repeating itself. Diana's fears for her sons had been realized, showing how much she wanted to protect them from the pressures and pains of royal life. She hoped they could carve their own paths, free from the monarchy's constraints. But tragically, her fears about their future came true in ways no one could have predicted. Princess Diana was not just an icon of beauty or compassion. She was the embodiment of complexity, of wounds hidden behind a radiant smile, and of a heart that always yearned to be loved and understood. The secrets buried beneath the royal spotlight that we've explored today not only bring us closer to Diana, but also remind us that even those admired by the world carry invisible burdens. So, what do you think about these untold stories? Do you believe a woman who devoted her youth and soul to her family and community deserved the pain, loneliness, and betrayal she faced? Share your thoughts, feelings, and personal stories in the comments below. Your voice matters more than ever. It's how we keep Diana's story alive. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to catch every video in this emotional series. We have plenty more special stories waiting for you to discover. Thank you for taking the time to listen and join us on this journey. See you in the next chapter, where we'll continue unveiling secrets never told before.